Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Carl Jung understood something terrifying about human nature. Most people are not truly aware of why they do what they do. Fear, ego, validation, jealousy. These invisible emotions silently control human behavior every day. And once you notice it, you can never unsee it again. Most people believe they judge others rationally, but psychology proves the opposite. Human beings form emotional conclusions within seconds, before logic even begins. Your brain instantly scans for danger, status, weakness, and emotional familiarity. That means people rarely see you for who you truly are. They see a projection created by their own experiences, and you do the same thing. Two people can meet the exact same person and leave with completely different impressions. One sees confidence, another sees arrogance. One sees kindness, another sees weakness. Because perception is not reality, it is interpretation, and interpretation is heavily distorted by emotion. This is why manipulation works so well. People rarely question the emotional stories their minds create. Someone betrayed in the past may distrust innocent people. An insecure person may secretly hate confident individuals. A lonely person may become emotionally dependent on attention. And most people never realize what's truly controlling them. Human beings are masters of unconscious behavior. A smile can hide resentment. Compliments can hide jealousy. Friendship can hide competition. Love can hide control. And sometimes, people themselves don't understand their own intentions. Psychologists call this self-deception. The mind protects the ego at all costs. It creates narratives that make people feel morally justified, even when their behavior is destructive. Manipulative people rarely see themselves as manipulative. Selfish people rarely believe they are selfish because the brain quietly rewrites reality to protect identity. This is why people can hurt others and still sleep peacefully at night, because the human mind was designed not for truth, but for psychological survival. And once you understand this, human behavior starts making terrifying sense. The friend who disappears after your success may have always compared themselves to you. The person who suddenly becomes cold may simply no longer benefit from your presence. Human relationships are often more transactional than people admit, not always consciously, but psychologically. Most people want to believe they are good, but under pressure, human nature changes rapidly. Fear transforms morality. Desperation transforms loyalty. Power transforms personality. History has proven this repeatedly. Ordinary people can become cruel if the environment rewards cruelty. Normal individuals can betray lifelong friends if survival or status feels threatened. The truth is, most people are controlled by emotion far more than logic, and modern society amplifies this weakness constantly. Social media manipulates validation. Advertising manipulates insecurity. Politics manipulates fear. Algorithms manipulate attention itself. Entire systems are built around controlling human emotion, because emotion is predictable. Fear spreads quickly. Anger spreads faster. Validation becomes addictive, and loneliness weakens resistance. That is why emotionally unstable people are easier to manipulate. Their need for approval becomes greater than their connection to truth. And once you begin observing human behavior objectively, you start noticing patterns everywhere. Fake confidence hiding insecurity. Forced kindness hiding resentment. Excessive charm hiding manipulation. You realize how many conversations are driven not by honesty, but by social performance. People are constantly acting, performing versions of themselves they believe others will accept. And society quietly rewards this behavior. The person hiding pain appears strong. The person hiding fear appears confident. The person hiding emptiness appears successful. But internally, many people are collapsing psychologically. This creates one of the darkest truths about human nature. Most people are not searching for truth. They are searching for emotional comfort. And if a lie protects their identity, they will defend that lie aggressively, even against reality itself. That is why real self-awareness is rare, because genuine self-awareness requires destroying illusions about yourself, admitting jealousy, admitting weakness, admitting insecurity, admitting fear. And most people avoid this their entire lives, because the ego would rather remain comfortable than become honest. But the people who confront these truths gain something extremely powerful: clarity. And clarity changes the way you see the entire world.
One of the darkest discoveries you can make about human nature is realizing how few people show their authentic selves. Most people wear psychological masks, not because they are evil, but because they are afraid. Afraid of rejection, afraid of humiliation, afraid of being truly seen. From childhood, human beings learn that acceptance is conditional. Children quickly notice which behaviors receive love and which behaviors receive punishment. So they adapt. They suppress emotions, hide insecurities, change personalities, pretend to be stronger, smarter, happier, or more confident than they really are. And over time, the performance becomes automatic. This creates a disturbing psychological reality. Many people no longer know who they truly are. They become trapped inside identities built for survival. The funny person hides sadness. The confident person hides fear. The successful person hides emptiness. The kind person hides resentment. And the longer someone wears a mask, the harder it becomes to remove it. Because eventually, the mask starts feeling safer than the truth. This is why some people become uncomfortable around authenticity. Genuine people force others to confront their own performance, and many egos cannot tolerate that discomfort. Psychology shows that humans constantly compare themselves to others. Status, beauty, success, intelligence, social approval. People measure themselves obsessively, even subconsciously. And when someone triggers insecurity, the reaction is rarely honest. Sometimes people become passive-aggressive. Sometimes they gossip. Sometimes they criticize. Sometimes they withdraw emotionally. And sometimes they secretly hope you fail. Not because they hate you, but because your success reminds them of their own dissatisfaction. This is one of the hardest truths to accept. Many relationships are built on emotional convenience, not unconditional loyalty. Some people love you only when you stay beneath them, only when you remain familiar, only when your growth does not threaten their identity. And the moment you change, the relationship changes too. You begin noticing this everywhere. People support dreams until those dreams become real. People encourage confidence until confidence becomes intimidating. People admire honesty until honesty becomes uncomfortable. Because most individuals prefer emotional comfort over truth. Truth forces self-reflection, and self-reflection can be painful. Very painful. That is why denial becomes so powerful. The mind avoids information that threatens identity. A jealous person may convince themselves they just dislike arrogance.
A controlling person may call themselves protective. A manipulative person may believe they are simply helping. The ego constantly rewrites reality to avoid guilt. And the more fragile the ego becomes, the more aggressively people defend illusions. This explains why emotionally insecure individuals often react strongly to criticism. Not because criticism is always wrong, but because their identity depends on avoiding uncomfortable truths. Deep down, many people are terrified of confronting themselves honestly, because self-awareness destroys fantasy. It removes excuses, it reveals weakness, and it forces responsibility. But despite this, most people continue pretending to feel okay, pretending to feel fulfilled, pretending to feel confident, pretending to feel certain about life, while internally they feel lost. Modern society makes this even worse. Social media rewards appearance over authenticity. People learn to build attractive identities instead of meaningful lives. They curate emotions, filter personalities, manufacture perfection, and eventually, they begin performing even when nobody is watching. This creates emotional exhaustion, because maintaining false identities consumes enormous psychological energy, and many people secretly break down in silence because of it. The terrifying part is that society often rewards the best performers, not the most honest people, not the wisest people, not the kindest people, the best performers. And once you truly understand this, human interaction starts looking very different. You stop listening only to words. You observe behavior, patterns, energy, motives, emotional reactions. Because behavior reveals truths language tries to hide. A person's real character appears under pressure, under stress, under jealousy, under fear. That is where masks begin collapsing. And sometimes, what emerges underneath is deeply unsettling.
The most dangerous thing about human nature is not hatred. It is unconsciousness. Because unconscious people can destroy others without ever realizing what they are doing. History is filled with ordinary individuals committing terrible acts while believing they were justified. Not monsters, not psychopaths, ordinary people. That is what makes human psychology so terrifying. The human mind can normalize almost anything: cruelty, manipulation, violence, corruption. If the environment rewards it long enough, people adapt to it emotionally. This is why power changes people so dramatically. Power exposes character. It removes limitations. And many individuals who appear kind only appear kind because they lack power. Once status, money, authority, or control enters their lives, their hidden traits finally surface: arrogance, control, narcissism, emotional coldness. Because deep inside, human beings crave significance. They want to feel important, respected, admired, superior. And when insecurity mixes with power, it becomes extremely dangerous. Some people begin controlling others emotionally. Others manipulate through guilt. Others dominate through fear. And some become addicted to validation itself. Psychologists understand something most people ignore. Human beings are highly influenced by social approval, far more than they admit. People change opinions to fit groups, stay silent to avoid rejection, laugh at things they don't find funny, pretend confidence they don't feel, all because the fear of social exclusion is deeply rooted in human biology.
And modern society exploits this constantly. Algorithms reward outrage. Media rewards fear. Online culture rewards performance. People become addicted to attention because attention temporarily fills emotional emptiness. But it never lasts, which is why validation becomes endless. More likes, more approval, more recognition, more status. The ego is never satisfied for long. And the terrifying part, many people build their entire identity around external validation, meaning their emotional stability depends on how others perceive them. That creates fragile personalities. One criticism destroys confidence. One rejection creates obsession. One failure creates despair. Because internally, there was never real self-worth to begin with. This is why emotionally weak people become easier to manipulate. Fear controls them. Approval controls them. Loneliness controls them. And controlled people rarely think clearly. Once emotion dominates logic, human beings become predictable. Fearful people obey easily. Angry people react impulsively. Desperate people ignore morality. Lonely people tolerate disrespect. And insecure people often seek power over others. The darker you study psychology, the more patterns you begin seeing everywhere. People projecting insecurities onto others. People hiding jealousy behind criticism. People pretending confidence while internally collapsing. And once you see these patterns, human behavior becomes disturbingly transparent. You realize many conversations are fake, many friendships are conditional, many people are performing constantly, even to themselves. But perhaps the darkest truth of all is this. Most people never truly confront who they are. They distract themselves endlessly. Entertainment, validation, work, noise, addictions, anything to avoid silence. Because silence forces self-reflection, and self-reflection can reveal terrifying things. Fear, regret, emptiness, insecurity, meaninglessness. So instead, people run from themselves their entire lives. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." And maybe that is the greatest tragedy of human nature. Not evil, not greed, not violence, but the fact that so many people die without ever truly understanding themselves. Because the moment a person becomes fully conscious of their own mind, their entire reality changes. They stop reacting emotionally to everything. They stop chasing constant validation. They stop living through masks. And for the first time, they begin seeing human nature clearly, including their own. And that level of awareness terrifies most people.
Once you fully understand human nature, you stop expecting people to always act logically. Because most human behavior is emotional survival disguised as rational thinking. People lie to protect identity. People manipulate to avoid losing control. People betray to protect status. People judge others to escape their own insecurities, and many never realize they are doing it. That is the terrifying part. The human mind hides uncomfortable truths from itself. Someone can destroy another person emotionally while still believing they are the victim. Someone can become cruel while convincing themselves they are justified. Because the ego would rather distort reality than admit guilt. This is why self-awareness is so rare. Real self-awareness is painful. It requires destroying illusions, admitting weakness, admitting envy, admitting fear, admitting insecurity. And most people spend their entire lives avoiding that confrontation. Instead, they build identities designed for protection, masks designed for survival.
Some hide behind intelligence. Some hide behind confidence. Some hide behind humor. Some hide behind success. But underneath those masks, many people feel deeply lost. And the more someone depends on external validation, the more fragile they become psychologically. Because their emotional stability no longer belongs to them, it belongs to other people's opinions. One rejection destroys them. One criticism consumes them. One failure breaks their identity. Because internally, they never developed real peace with themselves. Modern society intensifies this constantly. People are taught to perform instead of reflect, to impress instead of understand themselves, to seek attention instead of meaning. Social media turned identity into performance. Everybody wants to appear successful, confident, happy, desired. But behind the screen, many people feel emotionally empty. And the worst part, some become so addicted to performance, they completely lose connection with who they truly are. That is why silence feels uncomfortable for many people. Silence removes distraction, and distraction protects the ego. When the noise disappears, people are forced to confront themselves, their regrets, their fears, their loneliness, their unresolved pain. And many would rather stay distracted forever than face those emotions honestly. Carl Jung believed that the parts of ourselves we refuse to confront eventually begin controlling our lives unconsciously. That hidden anger becomes bitterness. That hidden insecurity becomes arrogance. That hidden fear becomes control. And most people never notice the transformation happening. This is why unconscious people can become dangerous. Not always physically, but emotionally, psychologically, socially. Because unconscious pain spreads. Hurt people hurt others. Insecure people seek power. Lonely people become emotionally dependent. And emotionally empty people often chase validation endlessly. The deeper you study psychology, the more human behavior starts repeating itself like patterns. Different faces, different lives, same fears, same ego, same emotional struggles. And eventually, you realize something disturbing. Most people are not truly free. They are controlled by fear, controlled by validation, controlled by insecurity, controlled by unconscious emotional patterns they never stopped to question. But the few people who confront themselves honestly become different. They stop needing constant approval. They stop reacting emotionally to everything. They stop building fake identities, and they begin seeing reality more clearly. Because awareness changes everything. Once you become conscious of human nature, you start noticing manipulation immediately. Fake confidence, forced kindness, hidden jealousy, emotional dependency. You begin understanding people beyond their words. And that level of awareness feels isolating sometimes, because you can no longer unsee the truth. But it also becomes freedom. Freedom from manipulation. Freedom from emotional blindness. Freedom from unconscious behavior. And maybe that is the final truth about human nature. Most people spend their entire lives escaping themselves. But the people willing to face themselves honestly are the ones who truly wake up.